Hey everybody, we're back again, and we're back with host extraordinaire again, Sandy McKay.
Yeah, got a little special episode here for everyone today on a very odd timing for us, but it's gonna be fun anyways to get into it here on a lockdown Sunday morning.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here with Mike Gillespie, who was our guest on episode 79. So for those of you who haven't heard that, you will get, that was back in December of 2018, believe it or not. So that's
more than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is crazy to me because it doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
No.
So welcome back, Mike. It's good to have you here. Mike is from Epic Living Academy. He's here today to talk to us about his new Best Year Ever program. Not new, but this year's Best Year Ever program.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I mean, it's awesome to be back on. I can't believe it's been so long. It is crazy. So yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. As you mentioned, Best Year Ever program. So it's basically a 3-week program designed to help people get results. So I really created this out of necessity. I've been doing this probably for about 3 years now, but I set the resolutions at the beginning of the year, and I have good intentions. I set the plan. I get all excited at the beginning of the year. I get some good momentum going. I start getting some results, and then I don't know, like the excitement kind of just it tapers off some. So I picked up some things over the years from some of my coaches. I just got really disciplined and focused, and just kind of created kind of like an accountability structure. So I did that on my own kind of for a couple of years, and found that it started working. And I'd get to the end of the year and I'd actually work towards accomplishing the things I had set at the beginning of the year. So people are asking me about how what type of system I follow, what kind of program I follow. So I just started piecing together just some of the early workings of the program. So I'll just kind of hop into what the program. So as I said, it's a 3-week program. So the program starts off mostly as a reflection of the previous year, right? So there's lessons that we can glean from what we had just done, right? So, I believe questions are extra powerful, and, the answers to those questions really help to shape our future. So, we start out by just kind of going through some of the things that we did in the previous year. The past leaves clues, right? So, so we start out with that, and then we work towards going and just asking questions for the upcoming year. Just basically what are some things that you're interested in accomplishing in the upcoming year, right? So this is like your goals, right? Call it resolutions, call it goals, whatever you want, right? But we really tap into the why. What is it like? Why do you want this, right? And maybe some of your listeners have learned of like SMART goals, so specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, time-based, right? So, and we tie those goals into your values. So in previous years, and this is where it got a little extra powerful for me, because I'd set the goals years ago, and I'd get to some of them, and then some of them I wouldn't get to. And at the end of the year, in doing that reflection, like, well, what's up? Why I set these, but I didn't do them. Like, why, right? So what I found is, and this is what I've been doing over the last couple of years, is I've been tying it to my values, right? So here's a super powerful question. Like, what values did I lead in the previous year, and how did they help me in accomplishing my goals, right? So then I set my values for the upcoming year, right? So, what are your top 5 values? So a couple of mine are like health and relationships and family and personal growth and impact, right? So then I use that as the foundation of what I want for the upcoming year. So then I break it down from there, right? So health, that's been the number one for me, and that's the foundation of a lot of things for me, right? So, what is it about my health that I would like to accomplish for the next year? Then I go through and break down each of those 5 values, break them into goals, and then work towards creating a plan from those goals, right? So you create kind of like your 12-month goals, and then you kind of reverse engineer from there. Then you break that back down into like monthly goals and weekly goals and things like that. So part of the program is we spend a little extra time with people getting clear on what those goals are for people. And then we work towards creating a plan of action to help them work towards accomplishing those goals, right? So week 1, awareness and clarity. So week 2, we hop into the time and energy, right? So those are one of our most valuable resources, right? You hear a lot about time, right? So I believe time is important. I believe time management is important, all that stuff, but I also believe in making sure that you have energy as well, right? So, you can have all the time in the world, but if you don't have the energy to do anything, like you're just gonna sit on the couch and watch the binge watch the next Netflix series or whatever, right? So we spend some extra time on how you are actually using your time, right? And then we work towards taking the goals and working towards putting kind of a weekly schedule in place to help people kind of better use their time, right? So,
Mike, I think this is going to be really important for people too right now, because a lot of them think that the only thing they can do is maybe sit on the couch and watch Netflix, right? Catch up on their series. But you can use this time in any way you choose to use it.
Yeah.
I guess within reason, to be honest.
Yeah.
But your mind is free. And you can use that time to plan out your next year, to plan out your goals, and instead of just sitting back and watching Netflix. Now, I wanted to ask you, this is more of a community-based thing, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. So as part of the program, you join a community. So there's a Facebook group that you have full access to like throughout the week. So we have a great group of people already enrolled, and it's cool because we feed off of each other, right? So we have that throughout the week, but also weekly we have weekly calls. So there's part of it that's the weekly, like the accountability and support, right? Like this is what's key. And this is where years ago when I was kind of going at it, like kind of doing it on my own type of thing, like I had good intentions, like these are the things I wanted to do, but left alone, like you're less likely to like accomplish the things, right? So when you surround yourself with a good group of people that have a good energy, that have good intentions, that are positive and optimistic, you're more likely to accomplish stuff. And another thing, so when you commit something to yourself, it's really weird. Like you're okay to disappoint yourself, but when you put it out there to someone else, there's something that goes on in the brain that you don't want to disappoint that other person. So I've been part of a couple of groups over the years, and you have like weekly calls, and knowing that you have that weekly check-in, right? You've committed to something to the group that said you're going to do this week. And then there are times where it's like a couple hours before the call, it's like, oh shit, like I said I was going to do this. So I got to do it. I have to have something to report back to them. So the accountability is huge. And once I incorporated that kind of like into my own life years ago, and us guys, like we've been connected for a while, and there are times where you'll see I'll post something and I throw it out there. I do that to create some added accountability for me, right? So and people check on me, and this is the beauty of being part of a group like this, right? So you can constantly you check in with people. I appreciate you bringing that up. So the other component of this is energy. So as I said, one of my top values have been energy or health over the last couple of years. And like, I'm a firm believer in, health is the foundation of everything. Like you could put all these goals on the list that you want, but you need to be healthy to be able to do that stuff. So, there's a big component of this program, like mostly in week 2, where I work towards helping people just increase their energy levels. Like I'm all about optimization and maximizing the time and energy that we have, because it allows us to do more, and it allows us to enjoy life more. So there's a big component around time. So there's one exercise we do, it's called the truth of time exercise. And it's basically a snapshot of how you currently use your time. And almost every time when people go through these exercises, they're surprised. It's like, shit, I had no idea I was spending this much time doing this, right? And if it's in line with their goals, cool. But oftentimes a lot of the things on their list aren't. So it's kind of like a refocus. It's like, all right, you said you value these things. You said you want these things, your goals. Let's now refocus your efforts, your time, your energy towards those goals. Prove it to me that those goals are actually valuable to you. So in the past, for me, I said I valued these things, yet for years, like I wouldn't accomplish the goals. I was living out of integrity, right? I didn't have someone kind of checking in on me saying, hey, you said you valued these, you said you wanted this, yet in your schedule, you're not allocating time and energy to it, right? So do you really value it? So having someone kind of giving you a nudge and a little kick from time to time, just to refocus you back on your goals, your values, how you spend your time and energy. So that's kind of like a summary of week 2. You know, we hop into, you know, what are your habits? What are your routines? It's a lot of it is just, you know, bringing to the surface, helping to raise people's level of awareness on how they spend their time and energy. You know, what habits do they do? You know, are they positive? Are they helping to help people work towards their goals? You know, what are their routines, right? I share with people kind of my morning routine, right? My before bed routine. Like these are the things that all set you up for the next day. And, you know, if you're not getting the results that you want, start questioning the actions that you're taking, right? So that's week 2. So as I said, every week, you know, once people commit, they get instant access to a Facebook support group. And then we have weekly calls where we hop on, and this is the opportunity where the accountability and support really kicks in. You know, just making sure people are on track with what they said they wanted for the year, right? So
let's pop the link in there too. What's the link to so they can go sign up? I put it in the chat group here for everyone watching or listening through Facebook and YouTube. But for listeners out there, what's the link so they can go check this out?
Let me see. Give me 1 sec. Let me just see if it's an easy thing. So it is go.livingacademy.com/best-year-ever-program.
Cool.
And I can shoot you over the link as well.
We'll have to get that in the show notes as well. So anyone that wants that can get to it. And I think you can probably get to it just straight from epiclivingacademy.com, right?
Yeah. There's an option on there to get to the well. Yeah.
And the thing that's a little bit different about this time, as opposed to the other years that you've done it, it was just a 3-week beginning of the year, let's get started program. Now you're doing sort of a rolling start, so anyone hearing this can join in whenever they're hearing it, right? So so that's
and I think any time this year, especially last year as well, but this year too going forward, like what an important thing to maybe just kickstart something new in your life, right? Because you have so many other weird things going on that you know. I know there's a lot of people out there in my conversations with people that are looking for some change, or they're almost taking an opportunity here to do something different. Like you said, you know, I always look at their schedule too, or someone's bank account. You can see how people really allocate their funds or their energy towards things by how they spend their money or how they use their time. It's very telling.
Quick snapshot of seeing people's priorities and their values.
Yeah.
Right. I just say, prove it. Show me your schedule.
And Mike, when you're talking about epic living, I mean, this isn't just strictly business goals. This is like how to live life to the fullest in every aspect. Like you were talking about, I've seen a lot of your events that you put on, your charities that you contribute to. You've got a lot going on over there, and I really commend you for what you've built.
Thanks, my friend. Yeah, and it's totally not just business. This is a life program. When we work through the goals, part of it might be financial, part of it might be building a business, but part of it might be, hey, how do I become like a better dad or a better spouse, or how do I increase, like my health and vitality, or inviting more experiences into your life type of thing, right? So yeah, that's the foundation of epic living. Like just do epic shit. Like life is short. Anything can happen at any time. So enjoy the journey, right? So that's and this program it's foundational. And I decided to offer this program kind of throughout the year because sometimes when you go to events, you get the momentum, you get the motivation, then you go home and then you go up like this, and then all of a sudden and then it goes down, right? So you gotta work towards keeping the motivation, keeping connected with the group, that type of thing, to help you work towards your goals. So
that's why I think the community is so big right now too. I think everyone's in need more than ever of some sort of community, whether it be online or mostly online, right? So getting into that group would be amazing for a lot of people just to get some, I guess, high level or low level accountability even around doing some of this stuff and actually doing it, not just sitting around and doing it for a day or 2 days, but getting a habit going.
Yeah. Well,
can I suggest, Mike, you raised the price on it. I was shocked, honestly, to see what the price is. What's the price of the program?
$47.
47 Canadian dollars.
US.
US. Okay, well, that's a little bit better.
Which is like 500, right? Yeah.
The value there is insane, though. Really, like for what you're offering.
I know. Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things to kind of just get people fired up. Just to get people interested. It's kind of like a little intro of like a preview of what life can be, type of thing, right? Just working towards getting people back on track. That's what it's designed. So. And for some added accountability as well, and some even more value for this is you get to invite a friend along the way as well. So the $47, that's come in with a spouse, come in with a partner, come in with a friend, come in with a colleague, right? So not only does it create some added accountability, but it creates an added level of fun. Some of the people who've already committed, they said that they're going to do like some workouts together, they're going to have like separate little accountability calls together. So, just, I find, any extra added accountability and fun, like I like to keep shit fun, right? Like we don't smile and laugh and have enough fun together. So, I like to add in some of that.
Mike, before we wrap up here, I just wanted to, because I find this interesting, and I had this question at the gym before, and the answers were very underwhelming, to say the least. But you mentioned before bed routine. I'm just curious of what yours does look like.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, wind down time is super important. So I try my best to have like my lighting dimmed, right? Electronics is super important. So one of the most important things is to work towards powering down your devices, especially like phones and TVs. Like they give off like blue light, which helps turn the brain on when it should be turned off. Like don't check your emails. You gotta understand, like these things, they plant seeds in your brain. So if you're checking emails, you're on Facebook, you might be getting a message that might piss you off, or you might check an email and it's, it kind of just takes you down this path. And when you're meant to be winding down and turning the brain down, now you're putting things in here that is going to keep it awake, right? Other things, don't drink so close to bedtime because it affects your sleep. You're going to get up and pee. Don't work towards not eating too late, right? Because your body is rest, repair, recovery mode, right? So I used to downplay sleep so much in my early days as an entrepreneur. and a lot of people do, right? And this is where they try to reclaim their time.
It's almost very hip to be. It's like the people use it as they brag about. Oh, I got 3 hours sleep. I worked
Exactly.
hard, right?
Yeah, you know what? I can show you how to still get the right amount of sleep, and then we optimize your schedule and your energy levels to give you the extra energy in the day, so you can actually accomplish more in less time. But the food, don't eat too late, because you don't want your body to be like digesting that food. Your body's meant to be doing other things at night, right? So other things, meditation, calming sounds, essential oils, bath, hot tub, like relaxing stuff like that. No loud sounds, no wrestling matches with the kids, and you know what I mean? So those are the things that I try to do whatever I can every night, and stuff comes up and I binge watch, I get Netflix going, and sometimes I'm not eating the best, but the more and more things that you can stack on top of each other, the more they'll improve your sleep, right? So this is an Oura ring. So this helps me track my sleep and all this stuff, right? And this will report back to me in the morning, hey, here's how you slept, here's your heart rate, here's this, here's that. And then it helps me understand what my readiness is for the next day. So sleep is one of those, like, people ask me, it's like, what advice would you give for people kind of just getting going again? And it's as counterintuitive as it sounds, it's to optimize your sleep, right? If you have a shift, when you wake up the next day, you don't feel overly productive to do what you set out to do. So your next day starts with the sleep.
And you know what? Yeah, having your mind turned on is probably one of those things, probably one of the biggest things that's going to keep you awake at night, not allow you to rest. And I guarantee right now, if you are on Facebook, you will see something that pisses you off for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's very good advice. I like that, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, you can automate a lot of that even right now, right? You can have your phone automatically do not disturb. You can do things like that that'll help you with that. Because I find even you get a text message, you don't even have to look at it. You just see who it is, and you now you start thinking, oh, what could that be? Is it bad? Maybe is it something that I'm not going to like to hear? And I've had that experience where you're like, I know what it is. I don't want to even look at it, but now I have to, because I'm
Especially if it's a property manager or something like that.
Yeah. So one of the top pieces of advice: shut down electronics at least like an hour or two before bed, and then upon waking, don't turn it on for, like, if you're able to, like, don't turn it on for like a couple hours. Right. Again, like, it's planting the seeds. Get the things that you need to get done first, and then power it up.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Have we done week 3 yet? Did we miss week 3? Have we done that yet?
Yeah, that was just the community and the coaching.
Yeah, so week 3 is all it's the momentum and action. So we basically take those plans, we take the weekly schedules, and we just help to keep people on track through the accountability, right? So and there's lessons learned, like there's daily emails and messaging throughout the whole program. But one of the awesome components of the program is obviously the community, So
if we got time, right? Could we do, maybe, do you have like one maybe cool story or something of someone who's kind of gone through something program like this and really made a change or created a good habit?
Yeah. So
name, number, address.
Well, I have a couple of the testimonials on the website, but coming back to like the whole truth of time thing, like, people are absolutely amazed when they just kind of do an inventory of how they're spending their time, right? And it's and I'm actually due to do the exercise again as well, like, because how you use your time kind of changes over time, right? And you have different priorities and things like that. So like, if I had to share something, like, that is one of the biggest realizations. And you guys know, like awareness is key with everything. Once you kind of bring it to the surface and like my mentors and the coaches in the past, like they've asked me powerful questions, right? And I always note things that bring the most value to me in my life. So like I've got Word documents of just like tons of things that have helped me in my life, right? So, like when you ask these questions, it brings the awareness and like things to the surface. And when you now know about it, now you can work towards changing it, right? So when you know about how you're spending your time, when you know that, you might be spending 2 hours doing Facebook or whatever it is, right? Now you can shift some of that into some of the tasks that'll help you get the results that you want.
Awesome. I think one thing cool too. It starts tomorrow. If anyone's watching this right now, it actually starts. The brand new course starts tomorrow. It's a rolling over. So if you're not listening to this as we're doing this live, you'll get access later. But
yeah,
if you're watching this today, you can actually, in this world that likes on demand type stuff, you're going to be able to start right away tomorrow. So that's I think pretty cool too. The timing of this is perfect for anyone who's watching to get into this, and bring a spouse, bring a friend, 2 for 1 type of thing. $47 US. So a little bit extra for us Canadians, but not too much more. There's still great value. And I think there's even a few extra bonuses if they look on the site. There's a few bonuses that come with it. So a lot of great stuff there. Lots of value.
Yeah. Cool, guys. Thanks.
Yeah,
I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Mike, for coming on and sharing that with us today. I just want to say, the people that we have on here to talk about their programs and things like that, they're people that we believe in, that we've heard from them before, and we stand behind what they have to offer. It's not like Mike's paying us to come on the show or anything like that. There are some other shows out there where the guests have to pay to come on and talk about stuff. And Mike just reached out to me a couple days ago and said, "Hey, I have this program. I think it'd be good." I took a look at it and I was like, "Yeah, let's have you on and talk about it." So.
Yeah,
and it's perfect. And we're packaging. I just came together really nice because we're going to package on here Quentin, who's going to come on here in just a minute, and he's going to talk a little bit about his new book and everything he's got going with more along the investor side of things. But in order to do that at a high level, you got to get your health, your energy, your mindset straight and ready to do that, because that's that brings the whole thing in together, right?
Yeah, and I've had like a lot of real estate investors go through the program, so and agents and mortgage brokers, and this is how we connected through real estate. So I appreciate you guys, what you're doing. Like, I love the format of the podcast. And it's all about value, guys, and you guys are dropping tons of value. So I appreciate you guys.
Well, I'm looking forward to joining the program, Mike, and so I guess I'll see you there.
Awesome, brother.
All right.
Amazing. Should we bring can we bring Quentin in here to all together for a minute maybe, or he's ready to go?
Sure. I'm going to jump out for one quick second. I'll be right back.
All right.
See you, dude.
Well, Rob's doing that. We can bring in Quentin. I think he looks like we're ready to go here. How you doing, Quentin?
Good. How's it going, Mike? How's it going, Sandy?
All right,
awesome.
Good. I just came back from a walk.
Sweet.
Perfect. Right in line with our what we've been talking about.
Oh, awesome.
Start the morning, eh?
Oh yeah, I love it. I wake up early, have my smoothie and some vitamins and go for a walk.
Nice.
Usually about 4 or 5 kilometers in the morning.
Man,
wow.
That's great.
Every day. Yeah, it's awesome.
Good for you. That's really, really good. Cool. Yeah, we should catch up, man.
Yeah, for sure, Mike.
It's been far too long. So Sandy, Rob, man, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for sharing.
Mike,
the link is in the show notes on Facebook, YouTube. If anyone's looking to get more info on Mike's program there, highly encouraged to do it. And it starts tomorrow.
Cool, dudes. Have a good one.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Happy birthday, Rob. Bye-bye.
Welcome,
Quentin. It's glad to have you back again.
It's good to see you guys. I always think it's awesome when I see you guys together. It's pretty cool. It's like it reminds me of years ago.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? It was you're our first ever guest on this show, so it's pretty crazy that is almost to the day 7 years ago right now.
Wow, that's incredible. You've both done such a wonderful job with this podcast, and I see you on all these lists and things like that. And, I honestly, what is the coolest thing is that you are still investing in real estate and kind of scaling it up in different ways and and doing different things. And that's what makes me happy. It's you know what, like it's great in real estate that you can make money, like you can create wealth, but it's even for me, I find it's even cooler to see the little impacts that you make over that time, right? Like you get to see different people do different things, and it doesn't matter if you send an email or you help them by coaching them, or you're at a meeting and you say something and it kind of takes them in a different direction. And that's what that's one of the things I really enjoy. Just like, I kind of reflect back at all the different people that, you have impact on, like, I mean, if I were, are we live right now?
We're live. We're live.
Oh, oops. Well,
no, keep going.
Well, I was just kind of reminiscing. So I was like, I can think of people off the top of my head, right? Like Paul Panus, Callie, George, Renee, Fern, Mandy, like so many different people, like over the years that you in a little way you've impacted. And I think that all those things kind of come back to you, right? Like it makes you feel good. And, I think that if you have those impacts, and I'm sure you do that for clients as well, right? You see like different people that, they started off with zero or nothing. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they have like 3 or 4 properties and they're like, wow, like I've got like my whole financial future taken care of for me. Right. And I'm sure like that it must feel really good. Right. So I think, we can make impact, which is awesome.
Well,
right?
I mean, the whole reason that this, absolutely, first of all, absolutely. And the whole reason that Sandy and I had this podcast is because we met at Durham REI, and we started talking and it was born through that. And, just like my first JV partner that I ever had was at your coaching program. So just all of these things that wouldn't exist if we hadn't all, they say your network is your net worth, right? So it's really true. Like none of this stuff would even be around, Quentin, if it wasn't for you. That's true. That's really how I feel. So
thank you.
I enjoy it every time we talk to you.
So you're saying we got a pretty high, great guest here with us, I guess, Rob. Is it important?
I think this is actually his 4th time on. Like he hasn't been he wasn't. We had a couple shows where he was like, jumped on for a 15-minute segment at some point through the episode. But he's done 2, 108B, which was like a sort of our response to the COVID pandemic. It was about a year ago we did that. A little less than a year ago. And then like Sandy said, episode 2, our very first guest on the show. So, there's a lot of Quentin to hear if you're sleeping under a rock somewhere.
Well, it comes out with a lot of good content, which is partly why we're on here today, right? So he's always coming out with a book every year or 2. So there's always a good reason to bring him back on.
That's true.
I do want to share a little bit about that book, like, and maybe some of the impetus around it, like, and I've got a copy here. So it's not like it's not an ebook. It's a planner and it's a book. So it's a kind of a mixture of the two. And it kind of, I don't know, Rob, if you remember some of this stuff, but it's part of my old Action Taker program. I would do a quarterly plan and a weekly plan. And I'm not coaching anymore, which is I've got a lot of great materials that I put together, and I want to see people still be able to take advantage of it. So what I did was I put I explained how all the pieces of the quarterly plan and weekly plan work at the front of the book. And then I have templates in the back of the book for people to use to build their quarterly and their weekly plan. And it's very focused on real estate investing.
We didn't talk about the title of the book. What's it? Hold it up there. What's it called again?
It's the worst marketer ever. The Action Takers Real Estate Investing Planner. So, and what I did was I put a coupon code too. So if they go to I forget what the URL is actually. I think it's Real Estate Action Planner or something like that. We'll have to put it actiontakerrealestateplanner.com. Then they can get $10 off the book package if they go with a book package, or you could just get it on Amazon too.
So what was it? Action Taker
actiontakerrealestateplanner.com.
And you got to mention the coupon code too.
Yeah, breakthrough. The coupon code is breakthrough for $10 off if they want the book package.
Well, that's exciting. We didn't even know about the coupon code.
Yeah, like I just like I want to get it out there. Like I found that what has been really cool about writing the books is I get contacted all the time, and it's really nice. And I get contacted at really weird places. So like because of COVID, I've been able to attend different networking events across like Canada and in the US too. And so I go to Victoria and people recognize me. I went to Edmonton and people recognize me because of the book. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I did make an impact. So this is pretty cool. So it's kind of nice to be able to see that. And I know that my coaching clients benefited from the templates because it was really focused on real estate investors. It's not a business template. It's not for business owners. It's specifically for real estate investors. So, I want other people to be able to experience because I'm not coaching anymore, and to focus them and help them in their practice and to help, to help Durham REI members. I kind of moving all my coaching content for all the members to access over the next few months. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how the planner is structured then.
Yeah. So what's pretty cool is like I do a lot of thinking big picture thinking when it comes to wealth and wealth creation and how to look at things and how to achieve your goals, right? And so the big part of the first part of the book is really a book around achieving your goals. So I don't know if you can actually see any of this, but it's like looking at creating a net worth balance sheet and then comparing your net worth to like other high net worth people. So there's like just different tools in here. And each of the tools is explained in great detail and how to use it. And then there's examples of how to fill out a quarterly plan. So it's about 100, half of the book is on explaining the tools and how to use them in your to grow your portfolio. And then the other half is being able to use the quarterly templates and use the weekly templates in order to achieve your goals. So it has the balance sheet in there, and then it has a chart of where you are in your real estate investing career. Are you in a building phase, a growth phase, and the defend phase? The weekly plan is kind of cool because you can focus on like the different, like finding funding or financing your properties every week. What's that eat that frog thing that you're doing this week, right? Like, and I usually ask people to prioritize it at the beginning of the week. And the thing is, like, I use it too, right? I've been using it for years and years. I have like the quarterly plan on my wall and I have the weekly plan right in front of me here. So it's not something that I don't do. And, it's really helped me to do a lot of different things over the years. Like last December, I picked up a 23 unit building. I'm working on another 16 unit building. I bought a 9 unit and 11 unit building last year. I even did a little 2 unit that I bought in Bowmanville. Get this, Rob. I bought this in Bowmanville, 2 unit legal duplex, $500K, detached house, 3 bedroom up, 2 bedroom down. Right. I spent $20K on it. How much do you think it's worth? Like 750, something like that. It's like insane. I bought it in April, because everybody was scared shitless, right? So, can we swear?
Yeah. Go
Okay,
ahead.
sorry. Oops. Yeah.
I mean, like, maybe not in every sentence, but
Okay. Well, I was just saying that, it was like a lot of people were scared at that time, right? And, I understand the value of what I'm buying. And so that's why I bought it. And it paid off really well. But, funny enough, I have a joint venture partner that I was going to put on it. But because I wasn't sure exactly what direction the market was going to take, I actually didn't take on a partner for that particular project. I said, I'm just going to do it myself. I understand, like, you could if you want, but I don't want, like, I've been talking to him about this, and I decided to just do it myself. And actually, I'm going to refinance myself out of it anyway. So it worked out.
He would have been okay in it, I think, or she.
Yeah. Would have been fine.
The market went a way that nobody probably anticipated at the end of last year. But
yeah, it's going to be crazy next year too. I think especially the beginning part of the year. Anyways, it's going to be a good year to be in different types of assets. And I mean, I exited a couple of properties. I've been picking some of my smaller properties off, and the ones that I usually do an ROE calculation on the property to see what type of yield I'm getting on the equity, and then I'm picking kind of the lowest or the ones that have the least yield in my portfolio, and I'm picking them off, and I'm selling them, and then using those funds to get into other assets and do different things. Get into businesses and stuff like that.
Do you talk about that at all in the book at all? The ROE and what that looks like? Is that part of the book?
A little
more higher level.
No, actually, all the Durham REI members get access to. I have a lesson on ROE calculation, and I had some people actually do their own ROE calculation and put the examples in there. So I have like Durham REI members get access to that. And a lot of this stuff too is part of that membership, but and because I don't do coaching anymore, I'm just putting everything into Durham REI. So that's the big thing. And we are actually getting members from all across Canada now, which has been pretty cool.
Because it's virtual, right?
Yeah, like we've had what was the last one? Vancouver. I think we're Vancouver, Victoria, BC, and then London and Montreal and Cambridge. And like just the last one was the Ottawa area. So it's been pretty cool. I never really thought of it going that way, but because like when we have our events, we have so many people come out, and I was thinking, that's the direction that we would just be going bigger that way. But I never thought, that we'd be going bigger like across the country way.
Well, you used to have people. I think last time I was there, at least what I remember was, which has been a bit, but Windsor, I think, was the last. Was like you do who's from the farthest geographical area here, and we'd have Windsor, and you're like, holy crap, that is a pretty far drive for a night evening event. That's a 4 or 5 hour journey probably.
Oh yeah,
we have the country going, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but sometimes we get the Kingston crew come out, right? It's a group of people from Kingston. They drive 2.5 hours to come out for the evening. Like I think, and there's 4 or 5 of them that come out, right? Fern and Renee.
Surprised me a lot too, because there's a couple of guys I know from up north in Muskoka, and it would be a blizzard, and I'd barely make it there from my 15-minute drive, and these guys would be there already. So yeah. So I mean, the dedication is insane. But I mean, that speaks to the content. It speaks to the what you get from going to events like this.
Yeah. For everybody, like when you go to an event for a purpose, it makes it. And like my suggestion, whenever you go to any event, and I still do. Like I have a group of gentlemen that I talk to from the EO, and then I have a local group of gentlemen and ladies that are business owners in Southern Ontario. And I'm still whenever I go to our retreats or our events, I always go with a question, because that way I'm taking my level up. I'm always learning. I don't know everything. I don't know everything there is about real estate. I don't know everything there is about business. And I always want to go there learning. And when I go to my EO group, it's a Canada-wide EO real estate group. Okay. I'm the smallest person in the room. And I feel that makes me feel good. And I know it doesn't sound like it should, but it makes me feel good because I know like I'm going to be leveling up with these people in the room, right?
You're going to naturally grow to whatever business.
Like I've got a $34 million portfolio. These guys have $300 million portfolios. Like I'm just like, teach me. Right, because I've got a lot to learn too, and I've got the impact that we make is great, like and then you can that knowledge helps to trickle down to everybody else around you too, and that's why having the right network of people around you. And I've never been big on selling, like sell stuff at events. I've always been trying to create a community, right? So we're not like, that I'm not a realtor, and I'm not that kind of guy, but I encourage a lot of realtors, and I know you're both realtors, but I encourage a lot of realtors to come out to the event, right? And I'm just saying that because I'm not selling real estate when I'm on the stage. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I'm not trying to force you to go buy a property or whatever like that. I'm just educating you on why it's important to have real estate in your portfolio, and not just a house that you live in, but an asset that pays you money every month. And then you can do what you want. Like you can basically tell, I've got other fingers, right? You can tell other, whatever other job you have to go the other direction if you don't like it anymore, because you created an income stream outside of that. And the more income streams so one of the charts in this book is this one here, which is income diversity. I don't know if you can see that really well.
A little bit,
but yeah. So every quarter I ask people to write down their income diversity. And you know why that is? Because I'm an example of that too. Coaching was an income stream for me. I just went like this to the income stream. Gone, right? Does it affect me? No, right? Does it and why? Because I have income diversity. I have other sources of income, right? Like you have like Sandy and Rob, you have your rental properties that give you income. You also have your realtor business that gives you income, right? Eventually you could say to one of them, because the other one is more than fine to do that.
Probably the realtor one. Probably not the rental. Probably not the rental portfolio.
Yeah, but you've created that income diversity, right? And if you can create a couple of those, right, then you can do that more often. And for me, it's not that I didn't enjoy doing the coaching thing. It's just it's really not my highest and best use. Okay. I bought a 12-unit building, and I'm using it as an example. Okay. So I bought this 12-unit building. I think it was about like 18 months ago. I bought it for $1.75 million in Oshawa. Okay. I've been repositioning the building, and based on cap rates, I've increased the rents about $2,000 a month. Let's say it's a 4 cap. Okay. And then, and I've also decreased my expenses. I've used like different techniques like water matrix. We've changed out lighting to LED. We've reduced the expenses. So basically, I've increased my rent about, let's say, my cash flow about $2,500 a month. My NOI $2,500 a month on a 4 cap. What is that?
Doubles the value of the building.
It's silly. It's like it's like the value of that building just on like compared to others in the area. It's probably about 6 or 2.7 million. So if I can do that on one building, like it just makes more sense for me to focus on doing this more with apartment buildings. And I use partners. Right. So yeah. I'm not even bringing money into that, or I'm bringing a little bit of money into it, but not a ton. So I'm just in the process of working on a 16-unit building. So I'm going to look for partners. I'm going to do the same thing. Right. So, it's just, so for me, that's why I decided to move away from the coaching side of thing, but I still wanted people to take advantage of the materials. That's all.
Well, this way you'll reach a probably wider audience with content like this anyways, and maybe impact more people potentially.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? I think impact is what I'm looking for. And I'm trying to find things that are kind of cool, like tools that are useful to people for members. Like, have you guys heard of Rentify?
I just saw the email you sent out, but I
I don't
haven't
think
looked
so.
into it too much.
Yeah. So Rentify is interesting. And this is what I love about what I'm able to do because I have the connections in different places. So you understand what a credit check is, right? So when you do a tenant due diligence on the tenant, you do a credit check and you're looking at what they did in the past, right? So what Rentify does, it actually takes the bank account of the tenant and analyzes the actual bank account of the tenant. You're not doing a credit check. You're doing what have been the NSFs in their account over the last year. How much money do they actually have in their account every month? You get to find out what are the sources of income that they have. We just did we had a tenant in a building, an applicant. We had 4 applicants. The one that I chose was like somebody to start the due diligence process. Said they were a single mom, no kids, okay, and no pets. All right. So we said, okay, do the Rentify, like connect it to Rentify. So what did Rentify come back as? And by the way, we actually contacted the references, and the references actually said the same thing.
They
Okay?
checked out. Yeah.
They checked out. Then we went to Rentify. What was coming in? Government payments. Government payments for the child, what do you call it? The child benefit tax. 2 kids. What else was coming in there? We actually saw the child support payments.
Wow.
Okay. So all of a sudden now we're like, you have 2 kids and you have like a partner. This is not what you're telling us, right? So like any tool that can help us avoid like the landlord tenant board in Ontario, which the last 2 times I went through, it's taken over a year to get like the tenant out. Like I just had, or 10 months up to a year. So I had 2 tenants that took $10,000 of lost rent on 2 tenants to get them out. If I can spend $10 on Rentify to avoid like $10,000, I'm going to do it every time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I love finding tools like that. So it's not a credit check. It's like a bank account check. It's what the banks use in order to identify whether they're going to be, it's beyond just like what your credit score is. The bank is going to look at their bank records on how you are and decide whether they're going to give you a line of credit or not. And so those are what's that?
I'm gonna say it sounds like we've got to talk to them then about this. Maybe we should.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool. I haven't heard of it. Maybe Kate, my wife, has, but it looks pretty cool. I just put the link in the notes here because it looks awesome. So they're basically just looking at the bank account and telling you the real story behind what is happening there, which is not that easy to do with a snapshot of it or a credit check.
Well, what is it?
I've had the same thing happen where I've called the references. They've said exactly what it said on the paper, but
yeah,
it's not who they say it is.
Yeah, and you know what? We're getting a lot more fraud, like fake credit scores with names pasted on it, fake pay stubs, fake letters of like reference. We're getting a lot of that now. So if I just have to get you to connect your bank account and it says no, I'm gonna do it, right? So, anyways, like I think that's like one of the benefits of having like connecting with other real estate investors, and like I don't have like my agenda is really to buy real estate. That's what my agenda is for so my agenda is pretty clear and out there. And so people are really willing to talk to me, and I'm often able to get really interesting, like learn about really interesting things. And and now I'm working on a couple of developments now, some land assembly pieces that I'm working, and just things like that, which for me I see is where my direction from a growth perspective is, right? And I need to be able to commit more time to it, so that's why I'm not coaching and put together the book.
I think the book too is correct me if I'm wrong, but it kind of would help because I find a lot of people they want to do development, they want to do big buildings, they want to do small buildings or multifamilies or single families or flips. They're all over the place and they have trouble getting clarity on what the real plan is for them. I think
Yep.
and this is not a book that's all about necessarily stories and stuff. It's more of a user manual, right? So I think
That's
it might
right.
help them get clarity potentially on how that aligns with their life. Is that kind of part of
Yeah.
the value in there?
Yeah, exactly. It's like my property management book. Like, it's very much like a guidebook on how to do it. This is like a guidebook on how to achieve your real estate investing goals, and a step-by-step plan on doing it. Building out your dream first, and then going down and breaking it down into quarterly. I don't do annual planning. I do quarterly planning. I find that annual planning, you end up forgetting what your goals were in January by the time you get to December, and nothing happened. So if you focus on every quarter, then at the end of the quarter, you say what you've achieved, what you didn't achieve, and then realign it for the next quarter. I feel that you're building more and more rather than going and trying to do annual planning. So, and then the quarterly plans kind of you use those quarterly plans to develop your weekly plans, and then it becomes a systematic process for you. And I find that the people who use it have really achieved a lot, right? And usually I find that they've been in the coaching client world, the star coaching client world, right? Like they do flips that are making $100,000. They do like, they find joint venture partnerships. Because they think, this is what I need to do. This is what I've got to do in the next 3 months. This is what I've got to do this week. Right. And this is my hardest task. And just imagine if you did the thing that you didn't want to do the most every week, and you got it done.
Because it's important. Yeah.
Because it's important.
Yeah. Everyone's got those, right? Everyone's got the ones that they put off. A lot of people put them off because you just haven't had clarity on how important it is, maybe, or you haven't seen how that fits into your bigger picture plan, your dream, So that's cool. That'll help.
Sure. I'm looking at my one last week. I was following up on a building. Like I've got an 11-unit building, and the town says that they're redeveloping the downtown core, and I'm in the downtown core. So for me, it's like, okay, I got to start to talk to some counselors. I got to talk to the politicians, and I don't really like to talk to politicians. So it's not my thing to do, let's say. So that's on my eat the frog list, right? And so what I do Monday morning, I'm calling up people as much as I can, getting it done, right? So like if you build that into your whatever you do, I think you can be really successful at it. And that's all I'm trying to do. I just want to help people to be able to achieve what they set out to do and stay focused on it. Because there's so much, like you're saying, right? Oh, flip. Oh, like I got to build like this. I got to do that. Quick money, long-term money, cash flow. What do I do? Right? So.
And their friend or buddies or neighbors always done something different than what they were planning. And so they get all, I got to keep up with them. And then it's back to the drawing board, reset everything, change the path all of a sudden. But it's not in alignment with whatever they really want, right? Sometimes.
Yeah. And that's why it's important to have a good realtor to help them to figure that out and keep them, on track with that sort of stuff, especially if you're in the process of buying something, right? You should have like other investors that you can talk to, but you have a good realtor that can help you to okay, what are we looking for? Okay, remember you said this is what we're looking for, right? And then okay, this is what I found you. It's time to buy it now. I would, if I ever became a realtor, I would probably be in front of that Oreo all the time, yelling at clients. I told you to buy this already. Get out of here. You're fired. So,
well, I think this book would be a great one. Realtors should be picking this book up to actually provide to clients, to be honest, because that would really help the realtor probably get the clients a little more aligned, and maybe it's a qualification sort of planner type of piece or something for them. But I think, anyone buying real estate, you probably get it. But if you're a realtor, you could great value add piece, I think, to clients.
Well, the property management book too. Like one of the things that I think is like filling vacancies in property management. Like if you're dealing with a client who's inexperienced and then you're finished with them, like as a closing gift, give them the books. Yeah. So if they're not going to hire a property manager, at least do a good job at managing their property, because you're going to end up in Can you imagine 10 months to get to the landlord tenant board? What a mess. And their double talk is
going to get worse.
Yeah, their double talk is, so they'll say in the media, oh, the landlord tenant board is open for hearings. You know what? I had an N5 application before Christmas that I put in, an L2, right? And I still haven't got a hearing date yet. Oh yeah, so hearings are open. Yeah, that's double talk. It's this government and like bureaucracy is ridiculous. I don't know how small landlords are going to be able to do it 10 months to get a hearing. Oh, it's going to drive
That's
me
why
nuts.
I'm kind of thinking there might be a bit of a, in the next 3-6 months, maybe give or take, there's going to be a lot of frustrated small landlords, I would think, coming out of this. So there might be some buying opportunities in that sense. Maybe people that are, for the right person who's able to see the bigger picture with a problem tenant or problem situation there that you can manage. I think there's going to be maybe some opportunities when there's nothing right now. So
no, but you know what might be interesting is if you look at a little bit bigger buildings instead of going into the smaller one. That's where the opportunity is. But the thing about the bigger buildings is that it's the net operating income difference, because if you change the rent by taking somebody out, you're actually increasing the value of the building, right? So $10,000 in an apartment building isn't the same as $10,000 in a 1 to 4 unit property, right? Correct, because I can absorb that in the actual net operating income, because the value of my building will go up because this person I'm turning over, right? They are going to move from, let's say, $800 a month now to $1,200 a month. They should have stayed, but they were idiots and didn't pay. Right. And now I'm going to turn them over. My building is going to be valued $100,000 more. I'm okay to absorb $10,000. In a 1 to 4 unit property, I'm absorbing $10,000. Right. Like that's it. It comes out of my pocket. That's it. Now, the benefit is that the real estate values are going up right now. So I am able to absorb it because I know that, in Oshawa, holy cow, man, it's like, the numbers are getting like crazy, like $800,000 for like a nice high-end duplex. Like, whoa, right? Rob, you remember buying these like on the We Buy Houses signs, like 300, like,
Sandy and I bought a place together. First one, it was $222,000.
222. There you go. That'd be 7 years ago, give or take.
Yeah.
Right. So what is that property worth now, Rob?
It's got to be $750. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. That's Hamilton's very similar pricing. It's same thing. It's stuff we're looking at here. You're refinancing duplexes in the mid sevens.
Yeah. So
low mid sevens. It's crazy.
So, I mean, like from the rent perspective, yes, you're still doing the same thing because you're getting that appreciating. But in the upper buildings, it's more formulaic based on NOI. In the smaller 1 to 4 units, we're betting on appreciation to be able to absorb that $10,000 loss, right? But at the same time, it shouldn't be. Like, you shouldn't have small landlords. Like, this is a government. Like, I feel it's kind of like the government giving all the business to the big box stores. This right. is like in the landlord space. This is how I really feel. I feel like the government is doing this, and what they're doing is giving business to like the REITs and the big landlords instead of keeping it for the small landlords, because they're doing this, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
That's what they're doing across the board, really, right? That's not real estate in the world, right? That's kind of the whole economy right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is, but it's mirroring itself in different industries, and this is how it's mirroring itself in our real estate space, and they should be ashamed of themselves. They really should. I'm not going to get political, but I've got another finger for them too.
Yeah,
the landlord tenant board, their bureaucracy is ridiculous. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting mad. I gotta remember my cup my son gave me.
Oh boy.
Right.
Well, you've got all kinds of things going on. You've got the books, you've got Durham REI, you've got your investing. People can reach out to you on Instagram, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been working on that a lot. I've been trying to do my Instagram, like take it up a notch. So like QMan REI on Instagram is a great way of getting in touch, or like on Facebook, we're on the Durham Real Estate Investing Facebook group. Would be another one to get in touch with me there. That's probably the best way. Or you could try info@durhamrei.ca would be another great place to connect with me. So if you wanted to do that, I've also got our Durham REI phone number, which I don't know off the top of my head, but I think I spelled Durham REI and the number. I think it's like 1-877-358-3734. And I think it spells Durham REI somehow. I don't know. Try to figure that out.
Perfect. I don't think anyone calls anybody anymore anyway. So
Nah.
Not much. No, not much.
Yeah.
The other ways seem to be a little more engaging. But okay, well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, Quentin, and I think that book is great. I do give the Property Management Toolbox book to all of my clients, so that's probably another one that I'm going to have to add to it. Is that one?
And action taker realestatePlanner.com, breakthrough for the $10 coupon.
That's right, breakthrough for the $10 off coupon. Yep.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Quentin. We'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure.
All right, sounds good. Take care, gentlemen. Have a good one.
Thanks so much.